Um, Charles Butler, the reality check with Charles Butler. I don't know how you get to it. I tell you the truth, guys. I don't, because I don't sign in on the reality check for some reason. So anyway, I cut that off. And oh man. But Gruden, if you haven't heard by now, said some, see, I don't care about the homophobic, misogynistic comments. Those don't bother me because I don't believe in either concept, to tell you the truth. You know, to use the F word or the B word, who cares? You know, I mean, and he didn't use the N word. So, I mean, why are people getting all bent out of shape? I'm sure that DeMarcus Jackson didn't get bent out of shape. And he wasn't talking about other players that way. And maybe he was. I don't know. Didn't make any difference. You know, he's gone now, unfortunately. But I feel sorry for him. Feel sorry for him, his family, and the Raider organization. I've been a Raider fan since 1961. And I remember watching Raider games in the old AFL and black and white on the black and white TV in the basement of my home in Pontiac, Michigan. Long time ago. Long time ago. Hey, so folks, you know, that's why I'm so glad that Dave Chappelle is being supported on this closer thing. And I'm glad that the UFC professor is being supported. His name is Dorian Albert. And I'm glad he's being supported. Abbott, he, you know, people are signing up for his lecture, and they should. He has something to say, and he shouldn't be denied because he has a different opinion. I mean, I think that it's wrong to say that you're not going to hire white guys. I think it's appalling. I mean, where are these people getting off? You know, and all of this stuff started because black folks wanted a fair shake. Not a leg up, not a special handout, but just people doing the right thing. MIT canceled his lecture. Question becomes why? You know, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, I probably won't get it because I just don't believe in what these people believe in. And they're wrong. They're wrong. Now, college fund, they're not canceling. Good. I'm looking at a MIT cancel, says Privacy Watch, YouTube privacy. Stop. Mobs canceled during stop this damaging trend now. True. Let's see what we got. I'm looking at this, trying to look at this video. College for Learning. So what they're going to do is that this lady, she's talking about cancel this. Listen. Here she goes. Okay, let's do it.
Ingrained in the minds of most Americans. But for me personally, finish high school, go to college, and get a good paying job. This is the timeline that's ingrained in the minds of most Americans. But for me personally, the thought of accumulating a ton of student debt was enough to keep me uninterested in furthering my education, considering I wanted to be an entertainer from a very young age. But in any case, I still viewed a college degree as extra credit, something that, while unnecessary for my line of work, was still an accomplishment for those that chose to pursue it. Lately, however, I've been noticing a trend within academia that's undermining the core mission of these institutions, namely to advance knowledge and educate students in science, technology, and other areas of scholarship that will best serve the nation and the world in the 21st century. At least that's the motto of the Massachusetts Institute of technology, or better known as MIT. And that is what we'll be talking about today. This story centers on Dorian Abbott, an associate professor of geophysical sciences at the University of Chicago, who is scheduled to give a prestigious public science lecture at MIT on October 29th. The topic: climate and the potential for life on other planets. Unfortunately, the lecture was canceled after a group of graduate students pressured MIT into replacing Abbott because of an op-ed that he wrote for Newsweek, in which he argued that diversity, equity, and inclusion, as it's currently implemented on campus, violates the ethical and legal principle of equal treatment. He instead proposed an alternative framework called merit, fairness, and equality, whereby university applicants are treated as individuals and evaluated through a rigorous and unbiased process based on their merit and qualifications alone, which is a very reasonable and logical assessment. I want to be judged based on how well I do the work and not what I look like. This suggestion wasn't well received by his detractors. They claimed his views threatened the safety and belonging of all underrepresented groups within the department and demanded that the lecture be canceled. And it worked. On September 30th, the department chair at MIT told Abbott that they would be canceling his lecture in order to avoid controversy. Now, a big argument that I hear in favor of cancel culture is that institutions should have the right to decide who speaks at their schools, in the same sense that business owners are free to choose who they do business with. But the problem with that argument is that colleges and universities are not businesses and are intended to be a marketplace of ideas. All sorts of ideas. MIT's quick capitulation to the mob not only rewards people for bad behavior, but it also creates an ideological echo chamber and sets students up for failure by creating this expectation that certain ideas and beliefs can be wiped from society by simply throwing a tantrum, instead of understanding that intellectual diversity is to be expected in life. Resistance to having one's beliefs challenged is narcissistic in itself, because it suggests that you already know everything. This is especially important to understand because if you're someone who's unable to recognize the dangers in creating an ideological echo chamber, then how will you know when you've been manipulated into undermining the missions that these institutions originally set out to accomplish? That said, it's worth stating what happened once more so you can understand the severity of this case. A small group of people organized a campaign to cancel a distinguished science lecture because they disagreed with some of Abbott's political positions. Those opinions, by the way, had nothing to do with the lecture that he planned on presenting. He was going to talk about the potential for life on other planets. So let's play a game. Replace political positions with sexual preferences or religious beliefs, and listen to how the whole episode sounds. It would be pretty alarming if the students wanted a lecture canceled because of the speaker's sexual preference or religious beliefs, right? And there's something else worth noting about this whole fiasco. When you look at the letter of denunciation that was put together by Abbott's detractors, you'll notice a common theme amongst the 162 students and staff who petitioned to have him silenced. The act of announcing one's pronouns or being forced to use the correct pronouns as a form of respect is a belief that's primarily weaponized by the woke left. I say weaponized because the woke consensus, for example, is that if a man believes he's a woman, society is to be expected to refer to this individual by his preferred pronouns, regardless if it contradicts biology, common sense, or individual beliefs. And anyone who opposes this form of respect will be labeled as a bigot, transphobic, and so on and so forth. The enforcement of pronouns is a manipulation tactic that pressures the public into conformity by gaslighting them into believing that they're not a good person if they refuse to comply. We've reached the point in society where stating the biological differences between men and women is considered a form of bigotry. So I'm very concerned to see the same tactic applied to—
I tell you, she breaks it down, doesn't she? I mean, she just breaks it down. But Dorian Abbott has been given a lot of attention and a lot of support because people want to listen to his lecture about the potential of life on other planets. What does that have to do with anything? When he talks about merit, I just find it very interesting that All of these people want to talk about merit and fairness now. And when I was coming along, white guys got jobs, they got positions, they got into school because their parents were there, because they knew somebody. I mean, that was a given. Okay. That's the way things worked. And you know what? We young black folks, we didn't know anybody. I was the first person to graduate from high school in my family. I was first person to go to college, first person to graduate from college in my family. So, I mean, who did I know? I remember going to San Diego and going to a political meeting, and these damn Democrats telling me, well, you're not Jesse Jackson, so why would we care what you think? Well, because I live in San Diego, because I think that people who live in a district should ought to be able to elect their representation from their district instead of an at-large election where the city votes in the candidate in your district. So if people don't like you and what you say about your district and the issues that you have in your district, they vote your butt out, or you never get elected, which was the case. But that's the kind of thing that you experience. But now everybody wants to talk about meritocracy. Well, what is meritocracy? Let's break this down for a minute. Let's just look at Chicago. This would apply to any urban area, most schools in Chicago, in the United States. Black schools are underfunded. Same school system, underfunded. Poor teachers put into those schools. Teachers who should be fired are sent to those schools or signed to those schools. The environments are like Animal House. There's no discipline. There's no reading, writing, arithmetic. There's no protection for these children who are walking back and forth to school and seeing their friends killed. And this guy talks about meritocracy. He lives in Chicago. He lives in Kenwood or Hyde Park. He knows about the killing. He knows if he takes his white ass over past the Midway, he's got a problem, even if he is white. He knows this. Meritocracy? So you're talking about meritocracy. We're talking about the kids who come in from New Trier, which is a wealthy community. New Trier. Everybody has a laptop. Their computers in the classroom. In the black classrooms, still today, even though we've spent trillions of dollars in Afghanistan, again, not putting Americans first, right? Especially Black Americans. The kids have one computer per school. One computer per class. Now, we can talk about this. We can get upset about it. We can do a lot of things. But the reality is the United States of America spent several $1 trillion. And they just talked about the military. They're not talking about all the other stuff. They're not talking about the infrastructure. They're not talking about the payoffs to the warlords. They're not talking about that. But they can't provide Black children with a safe environment to go to school, to learn. They can't provide Black children with decent schools to learn in and feel safe in. So there are a whole lot of things going on here. That meritocracy sounds good. If it had been practiced all along, we wouldn't have a need for meritocracy. We wouldn't have a need for civil rights if this was the case, would we? That's the point. We need to have fairness, of course, but this thing's called meritocracy. I didn't hear any white people talk about meritocracy when they were getting all the benefits, when they were, getting whatever they wanted. Oh, you want to go to Harvard? Let me make a phone call. I look at Harvard, I look at Columbia, look at a lot of these schools. What people don't talk about is they had a Jewish quota. Now, Ruth Bader Ginsburg And I hate Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm just going to be very clear, very honest about it. I hate the chick. She was part of that Jewish quota. She got into Harvard. I didn't see any black people in that class. And I'm sure there were plenty of blacks who wanted to go, like Thurgood. He's out of that era. Well, he's probably a little older than RBG. But there are other black attorneys who certainly, Milton Henry, who was a great attorney out of Pontiac, one of my mentors. They didn't get to go to Harvard or Yale or Columbia, but Jews did. Okay. And they had a quota for Jews. And so when we had affirmative action, my friend Arthur Fletcher, my political mentor, Arthur A. Fletcher, some consider the father of affirmative action. He said that the Jews fought vehemently to oppose quotas because they had quotas that imposed how many of them got in. Now, remember, the guy in the case that struck down quotas in hiring and schools was Bakke at the University of California. I think it was UCLA. He was trying to get into med school. Now, see, Jews have their own medical schools. They have their own ophthalmology schools. They have their own colleges and universities that have been accredited. That's what Jews went out and did. And likewise, blacks went out and did, and, you know, we had one medical school, Meharry, but now we have two. One that Bush gave to Sullivan. So, you know, we forget that our so-called allies hold us back, just like this whole woke thing. This whole woke thing has nothing to do with being woke. It has to do with peddling homophilia, homosexuality, craziness, mental illness. If you're a man and think you're a woman, you got a problem. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to address you and participate in your mental illness. I'm not going to do it. So you can, you know, what did Lois Lerner, the Attorney General, she said, if you don't embrace homosexuality, same-sex marriage, transgenderism, we're going to persecute you to the fullest extent of the law. This is the #1 law enforcement officer in America saying this to Americans. Do we live in communist China? I have the right to associate who I want to associate with. I have the right to live my life the way I want to live it. Barack Obama or Nancy Pelosi or Schumer or Dick Durbin, Dirty Dick Durbin, can't tell me what to think, or how to live my life. And they do. That's why I hate Democrats, because they're stupid. And they think that somehow they know more than you and they know better than you. And black folks put up with that nonsense. See, I don't know very many smart white boys. And I say that all the time because it's true. I just don't know very many smart white boys. Now, I used to hear black people, oh, he's so smart. No, he just got the information before your dumb ass. That's what the deal is. And you get tired of it. I know I'm tired of it. I'm definitely tired of it. Tired of the silliness. And, you know, this thing with the transgenderism and the pronouns, I'm not even going to worry about it, because if you're a sir or ma'am, that's how I'm going to address you. I don't care what you, and like I said before, if a transgender ever tricks me into thinking that he is a woman and he's kissing on me, I'm going to beat his ass. Simple. You know, it's not a question of what someone else thinks. These people need to get a grip and understand that you're not a woman, dude. And there are some guys that just don't play that. And I'm one of them. I don't play it. I know a lot of guys that way. We just don't play it. We're not going to play it. We're not going to participate. We're not going to participate in the mental illness that's going on here. And you know what? The other thing that really ticks me off is that medical professionals aren't speaking up. Psychologists, psychiatrists aren't speaking up and saying these people are mentally ill. In fact, the APA actually changed their definition of homosexuality, transgenderism, to this stuff being normal. They changed that back in '86. It's scary. And besides being scary, it's wrong. It's bad science. In nature, you don't see two males in love with each other. You don't see two males humping each other. Okay. And if you do, it's very rare, as it is in the human species. The difference is you have so many of these deviants in very important places that someone thinks that it's a real issue, and we don't really care. I don't care how you have sex. I don't care if you think you're a woman. Just leave me alone. This is the thing they don't get. We want to be left alone. That's the thing I find about Democrats and liberals. They try to get in your business, especially black folks, and they do. And I see these black folks sitting around the table, grinning and laughing, like the people at NAACP. Why are they supporting? Why are they supporting illegal immigration? So anyway, I'm going to get the spokesman for the NAACP on. I don't know why, but I'm going to have him on. And we'll talk about why the NAACP supports illegal immigration. I know I don't. Hey, look, you folks out there at Red State, thanks for being with me. We're going to sign off. Okay, so we're going to play a little, what do you call it here? A commercial. We'll be right back.
This is Dan Perkins, and I have an important announcement from the heads of the CDC and the FDA. They've told the Biden administration it doesn't have enough clinical data to approve the COVID-19 booster shots for all Americans. They gave no indication when they might recommend it for approval. They are also telling us that the effect of the vaccine is wearing off. We now know people who have been vaccinated and are getting Delta. How do you make sure your immune system can protect you? Go to blacksandwhites.us and click on the CV Acute bottle and get a powerful all-natural supplement to protect yourself. You don't have time to waste. Buy it now and put it on the shelf. If you wake up feeling like you've got the flu, then take CV Acute 3 times a day for 3 days and you're done. Act now. Your health is at stake. Go to Blacks and Whites US and buy CV Acute today.
tomorrow to help rally support.
Look, I'm not, you ask me if I'm confident, okay? Am I unyielding? Do I commit that I'm going to do this? Come on. I believe I can get this done. I believe when the American people are aware what's in it, we can get it done.
But there are a lot of hard feelings to overcome. Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy, the only Democrat to vote against the tax plan, said she is profoundly disappointed and disillusioned by this process. The business community is also frustrated. The Chamber of Commerce straight up called the president wrong to link the infrastructure and social spending bills. Democrats are still trying to create urgency around this issue, though. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi now wants to pass the infrastructure bill, she says, by Halloween. Guys.
I'm still on mute. I can't believe it. I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in. I was giving you the Zoom number. The Zoom number is 825-5584-8382, 825-5584-8382. And I had played the Nancy Pelosi clips where she was saying that she's going to get the infrastructure bill passed by Halloween. It's not going to happen. So you don't have to worry. I can tell you it's not going to happen. But let's see. We have Suzanne Monk on for, I think, Thursday. And we're going to have Ryan Kelly on. Susan Monk's going to talk about let's see, what is Suzanne talking about? How much the FBI was really involved on January 6th. She's an insider. She has inside scoop. And she'll be with us on the, let's see, she's going to be with us on the 13th. I don't have a date. I think she's going to be with us tomorrow. Yeah, she'll be with us tomorrow. And then we have another guest who's going to be with us on Thursday. These are a couple of people that I've confirmed. It's all good. Let's see. And this is going to be Ryan Kelly. And Ryan is a great guy. He's campaigning for the governor of Michigan. I need to go over there and help him out. I forget. I'm not in Illinois anymore. So I mean, go up there and help him out. But anyway, he's a conservative grassroots patriot stepping up to play. Hope he's doing well. Ryan believes in necessary power of both the United States, Michigan constitutions. Good, good. Hey, look, Have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you guys out there on YouTube, because I'm going to cut YouTube off, start using Facebook. 825. Excuse me. 825 5584 8382.